Welcome to the recorded version of All About Internships, where we'll go over everything that you need to know about internships.
So at the end of this presentation, hopefully these things will become more clear to you. So what is an internship? Why are internships important? And how can you find internships?
Here we have all of our NACE career readiness competencies. If you're not familiar, NACE is a professional association that stands for National Association of Colleges and Employers, college career centers, and numerous employers, including those from the Fortune 500, are members of NACE. And these different members have come together to agree upon a set of competencies that they believe broadly prepare college graduates for a successful transition into the workplace. And so these different competencies that you have before you are the ones that they've identified. And the great thing about these competencies is that you can develop them in so many different experiences. You've already developed these already. Whether or not you've had an internship before, you have these different competencies to some degree. It's all about developing them further. So when you're applying to an internship, it's important to be able to communicate how you've demonstrated and built these competencies already so that you can further develop in an internship of your choice. By the end of this workshop, we hope that you'll be able to describe what an internship is, why internships are important, and also identify different methods that you can use to find an internship. At the bottom, we have 3 of our NACE career readiness competencies that we'll go over in a little bit more detail on the next slide. But essentially, for this workshop, we have communication. So this relates to internships by you connecting with professionals in your field and being able to effectively explain your experiences and skills when you're applying to these different internships. Next, we have career and self-development. So seeking opportunities to build the skills and experience that you need in order to get to your career goal. And lastly, we have critical thinking. So this relates to internships in your ability to analyze your own skills and abilities that are related to the types of internships that you're seeking.
Additionally, you'll be able to describe an internship experience, explain why internships are important, and identify the methods of finding internships. You'll also be able to analyze your own skills and abilities related to internships, connect with professionals in your field, and explain your experiences and skills when applying to these internship opportunities, and seeking opportunities to build the skills and experience needed for careers of choice. So what is an internship? An internship by any other name would be just as awesome of an experience. So this is just another way to say that internships can look different and go by different names, and despite what kind of experience you have, all of the skills and knowledge that you're gaining through volunteering, shadowing in your student organizations, whether or not they're formal internships or not, they're still valuable experiences that where you're gaining valuable skill development towards whatever career goals you might have in the future. And you might have heard of internships and co-ops. So internships and co-ops are different, and this is just a slide that details those differences. So internships can be paid or unpaid depending on the industry that you're in, whereas co-ops are paid opportunities. Internships may provide you credit or no credit, And co-ops are usually full-time experiences where you'd have to take time off of school in order to complete the co-op. Internships are usually shorter term, though that isn't always the case, whereas co-ops typically are more longer term. And as I mentioned earlier, co-ops are usually full-time experiences, which is why you probably wouldn't be able to take coursework at the same time, whereas internships can vary depending on the opportunity that you're looking at, or maybe the time of year that you're in the internship. So over summer it might be a full-time opportunity, whereas during the year it might be part-time. And these are the criteria that we take into consideration when an internship is posted on Handshake. So an internship must be a learning experience that provides the opportunity to apply knowledge gained in the classroom. The skills knowledge must be transferable to other settings. There is a defined beginning and end to the internship. There are clearly defined learning objectives and goals related to the professional goals of the student. There is supervision by a professional with educational and/or professional background in the field of the experience, and there is routine feedback by this supervisor as well. Resources, equipment, and facilities are provided by the employer to support learning objectives and goals. So basically, the internship has to be an experience where you are able to learn and grow in a way that helps you achieve certain professional goals and develop skills related to this goal, but also ones that can be transferable to other situations. And this experience must provide you with a professional who can supervise you and kind of help you if you have any questions, and help you in your path to becoming a more experienced professional. And these are all criteria that are set by the National Association of Colleges and Employers and the U.S. Department of Labor. So now we'll talk a bit about how to secure academic credit for the internship that you are seeking. So in order to do that, the first step is to secure the internship. From there, you can go to your academic department and see if there is a 198I course being offered. This course, once you enroll in it, will be able to provide you that academic credit that you're seeking while you complete the internship. If there is no 198I course offered in your department, you might be able to go to another department that aligns with the internship responsibilities that you'll be completing. So if it is a marketing internship, for example, you could go to the School of Business and inquire about enrolling in their 198I course. Once you've secured your internship and determined that it is possible for you to secure academic credit, then you can go to the Career Center website under the Internships tab. Then you can go to that page and start filling out the internship request form, which is through DocuSign. Once you fill all of the necessary information, then the form will start to go to the appropriate individuals to secure those signatures, and once that is complete, then you will be enrolled in your course. And so at that point, just make sure, verify that you have been enrolled. And just as a note, summer session enrollment does have additional fees attached to it. Next, we'll go into why internships are important. So again, if you could take a couple moments to think about why you think internships are important, and then once you've done that, you can go ahead and go on to the next slide. So why are internships important? If we look at these data from the NACE Job Outlook from 2020, we can see that the top two attributes of influence that employers reported are at number 1 has completed an internship with your organization at 4.6 and has internship experience in your industry, a little bit lower at 4.4. And this is especially important when employers have equally qualified candidates. So that's when they'll look at internship experience. Um, so both attributes show the highest influence ratings in choosing one candidate over another. Another reason why internships are really important is because you'll develop skills, either technical or transferable skills. So you might have heard of this terminology. You might have also heard of hard and soft skills. So technical skills are aligned with what hard skills refer to, whereas transferable skills align with soft skills. But we prefer this terminology because hard and soft kind of have a different connotation to them. So with technical skills, they're easier to prove. Some examples of technical skills might be social media, so maybe being experienced with analytics or running a social media account for an organization, knowing a language, knowing some computer software or programming language. So with technical skills, usually there is kind of a standard or common understanding of what it means to be proficient in a certain language or computer software programming language. There is like a common threshold where everyone kind of understands, okay, this is what it means to be fluent in a language, for example. Whereas with transferable skills, people might have different ways of communicating and working in a team, a different leadership style. So that's kind of another way that you can think about how to distinguish between technical and transferable skills. So how can you get technical skills? Oftentimes it's through training or your coursework or maybe some kind of certification, maybe taking a course on LinkedIn Learning or Coursera, something like that. With transferable skills, they're much more subjective. So again, it's kind of like your personal approach to, for example, communication or being a leader. These are a little bit more difficult to prove. So in a resume, you won't see things like communication and leadership in the skills section because you kind of have to put more effort into demonstrating how you have used these in the past. So with transferable skills, usually you're weaving them into your experience section, whereas with technical skills, you can easily list them because, again, it's easy to prove because there is a common understanding of what you're able to do. With transferable skills, you can gain these skills through student organizations, jobs, especially like part-time jobs. So if you have experience in retail or food service, things like that, those are a great way to gain transferable skills, as well as volunteer experiences. Also group projects, so you're working with other people, you might assume a leadership role, you're communicating with others to accomplish a goal. So these are just some ways that you can attain transferable skills. Next, we'll go over how to find an internship. So think about some of the methods that you're familiar with, and then we'll dive in a little bit deeper into some other strategies that maybe you haven't thought of before. So when looking for an internship, it might be beneficial to understand how employers are looking for interns. So usually the recruitment time, on average, employers start recruiting 8 months before an internship program starts. So if you're interested in like a summer internship, it would be in your best interest to start looking for those internships the fall before. That's usually the peak recruiting season for a lot of summer internships. For as far as search methods, career fairs, information sessions, and job postings online are typically the most popular and most effective. There might be other ways as well, but this would be a really good starting point for you to start looking at. And when it comes to selecting top candidates, between equally qualified candidates, students who have held a leadership position or have major involvements or contributions to maybe a student organization or other organization, maybe off campus, were more likely to be chosen. So again, kind of thinking back to the a couple slides before, that influence of attributes, that might be a good resource to look at. And also NACE has a survey that they do every year of the most sought after skills that employers are looking at for their candidates. Those would be really good resources to look at. When engaging in an internship search, it's advantageous if you diversify your search as much as possible. So using databases such as Handshake and CareerShift or the undergraduate research portal. Looking at company websites for direct application, networking, so activating your in-person network and also going onto LinkedIn or other social media to discover contacts in the field or industry that you're interested in breaking into. Also, professional associations or student organizations that are branches of those professional associations. Those are really great resources as well. Not only can you connect with peers, but they often have like newsletters that might go over some recent developments in the field or industry that you're interested in. And also conferences, and some of them have career and internship portals where you can go on and see recent postings that have been posted in the field. So these are just some ideas to help you diversify your search. If you can't find what you're looking for, though, consider creating your own experience. So doing any passion projects or looking into a local community or small business that can use your support. So maybe building a social media presence, streamlining their finances, whatever your strengths are, try to market that to whatever organization or small business that you're looking into to get the experience that you're seeking. So going back to how networking can help you find an internship, these are just some of the different components, maybe the different categories that kind of go into your network. So you can talk to friends and family, you see our peers and alum, faculty, staff, previous employers, or volunteer coordinators, as well as events. So these are just some ideas, some subsets of what could entirely comprise your network, and it's important to activate as many of these dimensions of your network as possible in order to help you find an internship. There are also internship programs like UCDC. Haku also has an internship program, as well as some of these other organizations and others that aren't listed here. So that is another opportunity that you can look into as well. There are also internship programs like UCDC, Haku also has an internship program, as well as some of these other organizations and others that aren't listed here. So that is another opportunity that you can look into as well.